The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Cathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Thank you for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. I almost got slid. The grin threw me off a little bit.
I perked right up.
The perkiness.
I
So,
perked.
do you always do that? I don't usually look
perked.
over for that.
No,
No, he's usually asleep.
Usually I do this.
And it's like, Tony,
I go, hey,
Tony, wake
yeah,
up.
Here we go. Yeah. I'm all on board today.
Oh my God, I'm all fired up today.
You guys are all fired up today.
Yes.
We've got a lot of notes to go over, so
That's
I hope
good.
hopefully you guys got
Yeah.
a lot of fire to
Me
you.
and Tony have the same crazy songs in our head at all
I
times.
know. I wish we were taping 2 minutes ago.
No, you don't.
To see you two doing the car. What was the name of the song?
Come a little bit closer, you're my kind of man. So big and so strong. Come a little bit closer, and I'm all alone, and the night is so long. Doon, doon, doon. Okay.
You even know the don't.
In a little cafe, just the other side of the. I could go on all day.
Doon. So can
All
I.
right, we're 29
Yeah.
minutes in.
What was our other song? Man,
Oh.
I saw your wife today. And boy, no. All right, I'm good.
You don't see any of those lyrics on your
My
in the
Rocktober
last
post.
Rocktober.
No, you did a good one though.
a couple of weeks ago.
He did a good one for me. Now I can't remember what it was.
Well, it was a while ago.
It was a
No,
while ago.
The John Lennon one
Was
was,
it cheap?
good.
Was
That
it
was
Cheap
good.
Trick?
I did.
Yeah,
Cheap
yeah.
Trick. Yeah.
I liked that,
Yeah.
and there was another one that I liked. Was it Sticks?
I did Sticks.
Okay.
Yeah,
You get a
come
little-
sail away.
You
Yeah.
get a little beyond the genre I was expecting. I was expecting a lot of Led Zeppelin,
What?
John Lennon.
No, we did another one that I was.
You know I
very,
hate Led Zeppelin.
I know. I was wondering what you were going to say when I
I
threw that
think
out
John Lennon is the best Beatle.
there. Okay. You were mad the other. What did you
No,
say?
George Harrison.
I think
You're
he goes,
mad the other
I
two
think,
are still living. or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. No, that's how you can tell we live in an unfair world.
Right.
We are stuck with the two shitty Beatles.
I like George Harrison though.
I know.
He's a Beatle, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, he was one of those.
Yeah,
You
We're
have
all
a huge
good.
Paul McCartney fan in the audience
Yeah.
there. He's
Well,
about to jump
you know,
out of
You're
his
pointing
seat.
at,
Listen.
are you
Oh, I
pointing at
know.
the dog?
Listen, if you like pop music, Paul McCartney's your man.
Yeah.
All right.
If you like the soul of a poet and someone who wanted to say something, you got to go John Lennon.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
And
He's
then what
nodding.
about-
He's
how
nodding.
does-
You've won the crowd
Yeah.
back over.
And I'm
Good
not
job,
saying,
Tony.
and I'm not
How
saying
about
that,
George Harrison? What is he?
George Harrison, I
George.
think, was the glue that held them all together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
John Lennon, when you put that in a few weeks
Hey,
ago.
Ringo
about,
was cool too.
Oh, Ringo.
Oh, he's very cool.
Let's not leave him out.
Post Beatles, Ringo, I think, is the coolest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he was overshadowed when he was a Beatle because of Paul McCartney.
True.
But then he's come into his own, and I love Ringo. Are you
I
kidding
like
me?
it. Weird
Paul
guy. I
McCartney
love
played
it.
a lot of the drums on some of those tunes.
I mean,
know.
that's this is what I don't get.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about Ringo like he was a shitty drummer, and he was a perfectly good drummer.
Right.
Yeah,
But other people are better.
not necessarily.
Okay.
I wonder what
Just
Peter,
different.
What's Peter Best doing now?
Not talking about the Beatles. I know that. Yeah.
I know. So, who else do you got coming? Well, we'll
can't
talk
tell
about
you.
it later. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's going to be a surprise.
Everything's a big secret.
Everything's a big secret.
I've been
so-
enjoying this Rocktober.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
yeah,
it's
me
very
too.
good.
I enjoyed every minute of it.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Across the Universe, I started looking into that after you put that in.
Great. That's a great song.
John Lennon said it's probably his best lyrics ever.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Across the Universe.
Okay, so I'll have to look that up after I
I'll look
listen to
that up.
Yeah,
Jimmy
it's really
Buffett
good.
Migration.
You guys have to look that song up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can.
That hurt my heart.
I didn't.
Good. I'm glad.
No,
I know
no,
I love
But
you
you
for
know
a
those
reason.
other songs by heart without a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just weird Cathy
songs.
Holtshouser brain
You know, there's a
songs.
movie called Across the Universe,
Yes.
No, I love you even more.
which is great, and it's all Beatles lyrics
Oh.
in the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's quite fun.
When
One
I
of my
finish
best-
Suits, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
There's another
Best
song
cover
called
songs.
Best cover
Special
songs.
cover songs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh my goodness,
yeah.
you love the movie. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's on my list.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not really going to watch
I
that.
only have like a million seasons of Suits to go
I
through.
know. That's her new favorite.
My
I
new
know.
favorite.
I know.
One of our loan officers called yesterday after my business hours, and I was
So like
watching.
10:30, 11 a.m.
I was watching Suits, and I didn't
Tony,
hit
don't be
that.
silly. It was noon.
I didn't hit the pause button fast enough. I go, "What do you want? I'm in the middle of Suits."
That's how she talks to our people that we've dealt with for
Yeah,
35
sure.
years.
I go, "Don't
What
tell-"
do you want?
He goes, "Don't tell Rick." He goes, "I'm so telling Rick." I go, "He knows."
Is it bad when businesses get to the point where, I mean, people are calling, are giving you business and money, but you get annoyed that they called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I used to have that, the dry cleaners I'd go in.
Oh,
She'd
yeah.
be so annoyed because I'd go in like once a
no,
month.
it was the same day, right? Same day signs. Remember the one same
Oh,
day
yeah,
signs?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's going to take 5 weeks. Well,
go,
what?
It's the same day. Oh, not that one.
What's the same day
Yeah.
that we send it to you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the
The
same day of the
we
week.
get it. Yeah. We get it. We give it to you the same day.
The girl used to get
Whenever
so
we
mad
get
at the dry cleaner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. I go, well, this pays for your week.
You know, what's that saying? You know, familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what happens. You
Yeah.
deal with these people for so long, you
Yeah.
go, this one again.
I know,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah,
and they every loan is no. I'm only kidding. They're
Yeah.
all screwed up now.
Yeah.
Not just this
No,
particular
right.
loan
Yeah.
officer.
What was some guy, some sales coach was saying the other day? You really like your clients till you, well, no.
Until you work with them.
Yeah.
Until you get to know them.
We've had some tough ones lately, so, yeah.
What about the? Is it too soon to talk about the other client that wanted you to do all this work, but he didn't? After you've done the work, he didn't want to pay you.
Yes, I had to ask him that. So,
He
I go,
goes,
let me get this straight.
Wait a second. He asked you to do work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Right.
You did the work.
Right.
And then he said, I don't want it.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost
No,
like someone
no, he
painting
wanted
your,
it.
He wanted, but he didn't want to
It's
pay
like
you.
someone
Yeah.
painting your house, and when you
Yeah.
get that little corner left, say, "Oh, I'm not paying you."
Yeah, we discussed this. And
Yeah.
Rick's like, I don't think we discussed this. He goes, so
Wait,
the
he
next
just-
time you call me, I should know that you want me to do all this work, but you don't feel like paying for me.
And he goes,
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work?
They have selective memory, so they set things up.
Yeah.
And they don't go in the negative. They don't say, well, when you do this, I'm not paying you for it. They just let you do
Or
it.
like when you go, like say you go and charge up your credit card.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have all the products that you
Yeah,
bought.
yeah, and you don't
But
wanna
you don't
pay.
feel like paying the bill. People do
You
get
know,
away with it.
I don't want to get into politics,
Right.
but I know of a couple people.
All right.
Anyway, how does
I
that?
know.
That's like,
Well, I had the guy on the phone for about a half
I
hour.
was in my office and I'm like this. Oh my God. Oh my God. But Rick was so sweet about it.
Did you deliver what you were
Yeah.
supposed to
Oh, yeah,
deliver
yeah.
to him?
And
then
then
you just said,
some.
I'm not paying
Yeah,
you?
Yeah.
And then another, all right, we might as well really get into it.
Yeah.
So then I had a purchase and sale. I did it all with with all my information.
Yeah.
Give it to him. He decides, maybe I won't use Rick.
After
So-
he did all the work.
So then what he did was scratched out, because on the addendum,
Yeah.
it usually is the contact information.
Sure.
In case,
For the
They
buyers.
want to call the
Yeah, yeah,
attorney.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here's the attorney. He just scratched that out and put a new attorney's name on that and used it as if it was his purchase.
But
And you did all the work.
I did all the work.
And you
But
have
then-
no repercussions?
well, we could have done something.
too
But
nice of a guy.
But then this attorney that he's put in
Yeah.
his place, who I don't even know if they knew he did that.
Right.
But they weren't able to do the closing.
Of course not.
So it came back to us.
Back to us. I go,
Why
oh.
do you tell the guy to go fuck himself?
Well, that's what I was saying, but Rick said no. We
Oh,
get
I'm sorry, that was a trigger warning.
0 times 0 is 0.
Yeah.
So
Does trigger warnings really work when you trigger
After.
warning? Okay.
No. Yeah, but I didn't know I was going to say it. It just came out.
I know that's me too.
Right. If I knew ahead of time, like
Yeah.
a particular subject,
Yeah.
I would say trigger warning.
Right.
But that just came up because it was an honest
Right.
assessment of your situation.
Well,
Why
that's the
would
way
you-
I was in the
Who
other
does
room.
that to somebody?
I know.
I know. Oh, we've had some. How
Buttes.
about the lady the other day who?
Now, you've done work for me and not charged me.
That's different.
But I've said to you, you tell me what it is.
Oh, I've been meaning it.
I know. I have those
No, no.
invoices on my desk.
No, statute of limitations.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's
I've
way
asked you to do.
different.
I've asked you to do work for me.
Yes.
And I said, you tell me exactly what it costs. And you have always said, don't worry about
Exactly.
it.
Right, but that's not what he said to this
completely
Mr.
different.
Smith.
But that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's a
I don't
different
mind
thing.
for people I know and say,
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Right, but
But
if it's
don't
expected that it's a
Right.
job,
Right.
and this is what you
That's
do.
like you performing for a half hour at.
Oh, I've had that happen too.
Have you?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
what
you
happened?
can't take it back.
No.
So what happened?
So, you
Live and learn.
You, a
What
couple
the
of
promoters
times,
say we didn't make enough money?
No, they just go, we didn't like your show or whatever. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right, so now we don't feel so bad.
I had one instance. We did a show many years ago, and there's a very funny man, Bob Nickman, and we did the show, and it was okay attended. It didn't sell out and everything, and the guy was being the guy.
Go ahead. You can say it.
No, he just didn't want to pay us.
Yeah.
Blah. So he had the money, and we knew it. And he was at the end, he's going, well, some of it was pornographic, and our customers this. And
We're comedians.
Right. I go, you know what you hired. And, blah, 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 blah. And so Bob Nickman, and I will love him for this for the rest of both of our lives. He goes, listen, buddy, give us the money. We don't want to have to start hurting the women.
Did he give you the money?
He opened his desk and gave us the money. But yeah.
Bunch
Oh
of
yeah,
thugs.
we've bumped
No,
into that.
I'm just trying to think of
But-
how I can use
but I
that
think in
line
Europe-
next time. So you're not paying me for the purchase and sale? Pay it, or we're going to start hurting the women.
It's like trying to put toothpaste back in a tube,
We don't
right?
want you have to.
don't want to
we
hurt.
don't.
Okay.
We don't want to.
We don't want to. All right. No, that's
most
can we
cowardly
use that
thing
in the
anyone
legal
could
world?
say. Sure.
And it's like after the dentist puts a brand new crown in your mouth, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't agree to pay for this.
Right.
So you can't take the crown out. I
Right.
guess they could, but
I suppose they could.
We
Right.
don't want to hurt the women.
all right. What do you got today? Anything
I got a
good?
lot, but we just flew through it. So a lot of it's kind
These are
of
questions from our esteemed
viewers. Oh, you're
viewers.
right. So
Yeah.
how would they get a hold of us?
They would email Rick at rcarter, RCARTER,
Or you could
at
go to-
Carter Closings with an S.com.
Or you go to the Facebook page, Real Estate House Party.
Right.
You could drop something there.
All right.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Or you could call us at
Yeah.
People have been looking at our reels lately.
781
Yeah. We like those.
944 9222.
Yeah.
All right.
So shout out to Lindsay Sabatelli who does
She's
our
great.
reels.
She works at 128
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
128
Heating
and
and
plumbing
Oh,
and
it's
cooling
plumbing,
and
heating, cooling, electric.
HVAC,
Yeah.
whatever.
They do it all.
She does it. She's going to
But
be doing
she's
titles.
Yeah, but if you hire them, you got to pay them.
right up front.
What kind of a business is that?
No, but Lindsay has our personality, has our personalities, and she can kind of pull out the funny parts.
Yeah, she knows what's going on.
Yeah. So what do you got?
All right.
Okay,
So
what are the questions?
when can I? How can I reduce the risk when I'm either purchasing or selling a property? So this is kind of somewhat of a
That's
recap.
a weird.
No, I know, but it's somewhat a recap we talked about.
The risk of what?
Things falling through or
Things
going
falling
bad.
through, yes,
Right.
things going badly, and I keep going back to it. But I
Oh! I have the answer.
all right, go.
Hire
Not one specific. Go ahead.
Hire a Carter.
There you go.
All right, show over.
Next.
And apparently you don't have to pay them.
When you say
Try that at
when
home.
you say hire him,
and he'll do nothing about it because he's a good
So,
man.
like the bottom line is, you can't do this without a real estate agent
No, you
Yep.
need an
or a real estate attorney on
Right.
both sides.
yep.
You just can't
and
do
who
it.
else would you get? I know
A
this is
great loan officer
loan
that
officer.
gives you a great pre-approval letter, or
an insurance guy,
movers.
movers.
Dan at
Dan Oliphant.
at Piece by Piece Movers.
He's a good one.
And where are they? Out of Woburn.
They're out of
Stages.
Woburn.
What about stages?
Staging.
You're right.
Yeah, sure.
Photography.
Usually the cost of staging is less than your first reduced price.
You're right.
Oh my God.
And that is
Wait.
pretty freaking
Said, I'm
amazing.
I'm done.
You're
Say
done?
that one
I'm
more
done
time.
for the day. I'm done.
The cost of staging.
Yeah. is less than your first.
Typically
reduced.
less.
Typically,
Wow.
Yeah,
I
then your
like
first
that
reduced
one.
price.
I like that
That's
one.
awesome,
So,
Tony.
Yep.
you know
Where'd you learn that?
I know things.
I know you're pretty good. I told you. I told you. You both are morphing at this point. You know
I
that,
know
right?
things.
Morphing into you?
Yeah,
Not to me.
no.
To someone else on the panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
You told me I was out to lunch the other day.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or checked out. Or
No, I told you that I was going. She was being annoying. So I said, "Well,
Kathy?
Yeah.
Our Kathy
I
being
know.
annoying. That's it.
So she goes, "What are you doing now?" We're on the phone. I said, "Well, I'm going through my contact list." I go, "While we're on the phone?" I go, "Yeah, I'm trying to go through all my contact lists to see if there's anyone more annoying that I know
than me.
than you." And
Yeah.
I'm still going through
No,
it.
answer's no,
I'm up to about
probably.
the X's. Yeah. So
Wow.
All right. So you need the team. You also need on there. We don't probably talk about this one as much. If you're buying a house with a private septic system that's failed, you might want to get one of those a septic system installer to be able to review the plans.
Right. And the problem, that's always a little bit problematic if there's a failed septic, and because it's very costly for the
Very
seller.
costly.
Right. To replace.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's hold that as a tease. We have a way between Tony, Kathy, and myself to save you thousands of dollars. It's a tease. If you call us, if you have a septic system and you think of putting your house on the market,
All right.
if you think that's going to fail, I have
like
I
the-
have full proof.
I'm not going to
Foolproof
ruin
way to
your.
save
I'm
money.
not going to ruin your foolproof.
Sounds like
way.
you are going to.
No. But like
Whenever she
Yeah.
says that, I don't mean that.
the one thing that I do see as a problem
It's
when
going to
they
poke
do it.
holes in your septic
No,
system.
no. That's a shitty thing to do.
Boom.
Pow.
No, sometimes when the septic systems go in,
Yep.
the landscape looks
Different.
way
Different,
different.
yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
a hump, or
Yeah.
it hasn't been
Tree
graded.
roots? What about
and-
tree roots?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've seen that come up
So
more
maybe,
times.
Maybe a smart attorney would probably put in there that the new systems
needs to look exactly like the old.
or based on a mutually agreeable septic design between buyer and seller.
And then when they say septic design, that I'm always
Just
thinking
a
it's
bigger
under
hole.
the ground.
It's a bigger hole.
Right.
But that usually dictates how the top is going to look too.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're right. You got to put the topography back to where it was.
Right,
what it
and
was.
that typically is a problem that we see coming up more and more. Like they say they
Right.
put top soil on it,
Right,
and
right.
oh, there's all rocks in the topsoil, and they didn't grade it right, and they didn't plant the grass, and
Right.
so you got to think of all these
Now,
things.
is the septic system a closed system, or is it literally just a hole?
No, it's a
It's a
It's a
like
closed. It's a tank.
Yeah, a tank
Yeah.
that they dump
Yeah,
into the
Yeah, yeah,
ground.
yeah.
But
And what would cause it to fail?
well, the easy ones
shit.
No, I know that.
are easy ones is the distribution box, but they can fix those pretty easy.
Right.
But some
Wow. How'd you know that?
I know these.
knows
I know
things.
things. I know things.
Well, they fail because they're old
I see.
Right.
and they're clogged up with things.
With stuff.
Yeah,
stuff.
But if you have to get it replaced, that gets.
I mean,
pretty
that's like
expensive.
$40,000-$50,000.
To
Exactly,
replace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between the septic design, the
Yeah.
installation, and then the
Right.
grading of the.
That's actually a good related point. When you buy new construction, we weren't going to talk about today, but new construction, that never goes according to plan. So when anyone's buying new construction, don't plan on closing on whatever date's in that purchase and sale unless you have a real good builder. But there's a lot of variables that affect when that closing date actually occurs. And then when it does occur, you got to make sure your bank, if you have a bank involved, because a lot of times stuff aren't done. Items aren't done.
But
by
the
closing.
the lender sends out their own inspector because they're not
Right.
loaning on a piece of property or a house that's not
Right.
done, right? So if it's done to what you want it to be,
Right.
that's
Then
fine.
you're okay.
But the lender doesn't care what you want it to be.
Right.
They want it 100% complete.
right.
Right. Because they technically own it.
Like if
You're right. They always think of worst case scenario if we have to foreclose on these people.
Right. What are we going to get stuck with?
Right, exactly,
Right.
exactly. We don't want to be finishing over.
But like
this,
you
this,
can
and
say
this.
we have a great relationship with the lender. I mean the
Doesn't
builder,
matter.
and they're going to come put these two windows in and the back stairs, and
And
that's
it's okay.
not going to fly with the lender.
Right.
Right. No.
So on the other,
So the lender can hold it up.
yeah,
Oh, without a
exactly,
doubt.
Yeah.
And on the seller end, they always have the most, I guess, basic one where they say, all right, if we give you a certificate of occupancy, then we're done.
You should be good to go. But
But that's only
right.
like 95%.
right.
It's pretty bad when we're having the panel yawning.
I didn't yawn.
I yawned because she yawned.
Oh,
Well,
that
that's a
means
good
I'm
sign.
not a murderer.
No, that means he's not a murderer.
Oh.
Right. Did you ever hear that one?
No.
Where, you know how when you see somebody
I yawn.
yawn?
It's you did.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a reflexatory. If
Yeah.
you see someone yawn, you will yawn.
If you're not a sociopath.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. No. I heard it on maybe.
Can you just yawn so I can yawn? And
Yeah.
now I'm not.
No.
Now I'm not a sociopath.
Now, everyone who's watching the show right now is yawning.
Except for the sociopath.
Except for you, Rick.
And
And those are the
Chrissy-
ones that are going to be
Chrissy
calling
did
me
not yawn.
to do their closings for
Nothing.
For nothing. Or,
I can't get over that.
Oh my God, I couldn't
I honestly
either.
can't get over that.
Yeah.
I was
and that you were so
cringing.
calm about it.
He was
Is it somebody you knew?
no.
just a client.
Just a client?
Well, you know,
Not anymore.
air quotations on that.
And Rick goes, all right.
yeah, he's not a client.
So he goes, shame on me. Next time you want me to do work for you.
This is what I'm telling the guy.
This is what he's
Yeah.
saying to him. Next time when you want me to do work from you, I'm going to know in advance that you don't want to pay me for my
yeah.
work. Like, that's how he's talking to him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, my God.
And what was he saying?
He says, no, we never agreed that you weren't going to charge me for this. Yeah. So.
And you didn't know the guy.
Crafty.
No.
Crafty.
No.
Crafty one.
Yeah, very crafty. I know.
I-
So. I know.
That doesn't sit well with me.
No.
You got this guy's address?
Yep.
All right.
I'm writing a couple things
All
down
right.
now.
All right, what else we got?
do not want to hurt the women. All right, I got that one down too. All right. Can we tell about that? I've had another one that was a little bit out there too.
Molly.
Oh, that's Molly's our favorite. She's our example of what not to do in a closing.
Yeah.
But
Can
luckily,
we tell you about Molly? Have we talked
but hold
about
on,
Molly?
before we talk about how terrible Molly
Oh,
was.
we got to switch her name so people don't. So
We
if the
don't
real
care.
So Polly.
There you go.
I've had a series of the most unbelievable buyers ever. Like they're communicative. They're do whatever you not whatever you tell
Right,
them, but
right.
mostly whatever you tell
They're
them.
on it. Yeah.
And they're on it.
Yeah.
And it just makes my life.
I bet you it does if everyone does what they're supposed to do.
Right.
It doesn't leave it all
because
to you.
ultimately they want the same thing as I want, and the
Yeah.
broker, like everybody wants the same
Sometimes
thing.
people don't get that concept.
I know, but if everyone does pitches in
What
and
they're
does
supposed
their,
to do.
everything's great.
Yeah.
And we do run into speed bumps every
Right,
once in
sure.
a while.
Like guys who don't pay you.
Right. Not
Why
like
would
that.
you send him the stuff before he paid you? That's what I...
Because you have to sign the purchase and sale agreement in order to buy the house.
Right.
So he reviewed the purchase and sale
I
agreement.
do that all the time. I have brokers call me up and say, listen, can you get this purchase and sale done for so-and-so? It's due in 2 days. Absolutely. I bang it out. Boom, 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 boom. So that actually happened. I never get money up front.
Really?
Never. I don't think I've ever got a retainer in my life.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we should
You
start.
might want to start
Rethinking
rethinking
that.
that. Yeah.
I mean, it's worked for 30x amount of years,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Please get a
until our
retainer.
friend
Yeah.
Mr. Smith came along.
Yeah.
Which what?
Mr. Smith, the guy that didn't want to pay you.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Why don't we out the guy?
We could. We know where he lives.
And that's what I'm amazed
what
about
do they
people
call it?
like that.
Doxing? Why don't we dox him?
How about
Yeah.
the girl gave us the fake cashier's check?
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
talked about her.
No, I know, but the fact that we knew her address.
Yeah.
I started laughing. She kept calling
You're
and
not gonna
asking for
hide from us.
copies.
She wanted copies,
Copies.
Of a fraudulent check.
No, copies of her closing
Her
documents.
closing. And she gave you a bum check. She
Yeah.
bounced the check.
I go, wait a minute.
Not
You'll
even
get the
about
copies.
check. She ran in her cousin's back room and
Made it.
Made a
produced
cashier's
it. Yeah,
check.
produced it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, we could do a whole show sometime on. How
I
about
think we have.
How about the client we the other day? I think she might not have been. She thought her broker was killing little mice and putting them on her doorstep.
Oh my God! And there were flies everywhere during the
guy
walk
killed
through.
a gnat. She was. Yeah.
What?
I know.
She walked out of the closing like 3 or 4 times because she goes, you know what? I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell this. Why don't you want to sell this?
I don't like the buyer.
Yeah.
I go, ooh.
Day of closing in a contract.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just.
You can't say that.
You can't do
No.
that.
Right.
What would happen then if you don't want to go through with your sale?
So
of your
there'd be a
home?
huge lawsuit.
Specific performance.
Yep.
Can I throw this out since we're really just rambling at this point? We've always talked about the seller that is going to be in a bind if they sign an offer and don't go through with the purchase sale. They think they can get out of the offer.
Nope.
Right.
It's a binding
It's a binding
Yeah.
contract.
See?
Sure.
Bang.
Yeah.
Unless you put in that offer very specific language saying this is not a binding offer, so don't hold me to this. But we've never talked about it on the buyer's end. The buyer is also signing a
But the thing
contract.
is,
contract.
at offer stage, they're maybe putting $500 down, right? So
I know.
no, I'm
I
gonna be
know.
the arguer. I'm gonna
Yep.
be the buyer that wants to get out.
Right.
So I think
You should wear that hat very nicely.
Yes.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna sidebar that for a second. If I'm a buyer, I'm like, oh, I got cold feet. I don't really want
I
to
don't
do
wanna
it.
do it, right.
I've only signed the offer,
Right.
And I pretend that I don't know that it's a contract. I'm only going to lose my $500 deposit, but the seller has the right to sue the buyer for specific
to
performance.
continue that.
Yeah.
All right.
Really?
I'm going to give another tease. What?
Am I correct?
Wait.
Somewhat, but also we got to put a caveat in there.
Yep.
The buyer might be forced to comply with the purchase sale.
Yeah.
I mean, the offer, I'm sorry. But the offer says he's going to give $25,000 at purchase and sale stage. So a crafty, we shouldn't say this because now we'll see an influx of this type of lawsuit. So a crafty seller's attorney might say, you agreed to give me $25,000 to sign when you sign the purchase and sale.
Right.
So they might fight him on that.
Right.
Wait.
Yeah.
Whether you purchase or not.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Just by signing the paper, you owe this guy 25 grand.
Yeah.
Well, because then we go back to the offer is a contract, but
Right.
I was playing.
I see.
I was playing like buyer.
Yeah.
I was playing like not
Yeah.
dumb buyer, but
Yeah, no.
uninformed
most
buyer.
uninformed or most
We'll say,
buyers
the most I have
would
to
say,
lose
oh,
is
I'm gonna lose the
All right. Well,
house.
then let me ask you this: at what point can you go back and not?
You have to hire an attorney like Rick Carter.
Right.
So to
And
go
not
back
go
and get
through
it.
it, right.
So here it is. So you have to have some contingencies in the offer.
Right.
So like if you're buying a condominium,
Yes.
you might say in there it's subject to me reviewing the condominium
But-
documents.
but-
I see. So
but-
then you could review the docs and go,
Say,
all right, I don't like
it."
this.
Even if you did like it, like,
Right.
but you just
You
want to get
could
out.
say-
I saw
Right.
someone get out the other day, which was really bad. They signed this without because buyers and sellers don't call me before.
That's exactly what I was going
Go
to
ahead,
say.
then you say it.
The problem is Rick knows what to put in an offer to protect his client, whether the buyer or the
That's why
seller.
you need a good attorney.
We need a good
However, the real estate agents and the buyers and the sellers don't have it reviewed by the attorney at the offer stage.
I see.
So they don't think of it as a contract. They just, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, because they haven't done their due diligence and
Right,
gotten an attorney
exactly,
from the get-go.
exactly.
Right.
And they think they're going to get
Even
to
on
a
the
point,
offer, it
then-
says this is a binding contract.
yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to some people.
I know.
I don't know. It says it's a binding contract.
No, I know, but everyone says, "Oh, the offer, the offer,
don't
the
worry
offer,"
about it.
No,
and they
but it
kind
says
of like
binding
shoving
contract.
it.
Right.
I only signed an offer.
Right.
You only signed an offer that you're bound to perform.
Yeah.
Right.
With.
So on
on.
this one, usually the buyer, usually the seller, is critiquing some things. I had a seller not critique certain language, which the buyer put in, like no mortgage, contingency, no appraisal. It was really good offer because it didn't have any of those contingencies in
It's
there.
a good offer to the seller.
To the seller.
But a
they
terrible
put in
offer from the buyer.
Little mention in the additional provisions, but it's subject to me reviewing all the utility costs that the buyer is a huge house. So it's subject to me reviewing all the
I
utility
see.
costs And he got out of it because
So he reviews the utility
used
cost
that,
and says
yeah.
it's too high.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get out.
It's
And
not
technically,
working.
the titles are
He can do it.
freaking out because they said we can't let. I go, well, you guys.
You said it was
agreed to that.
okay. Yeah,
Right.
he
You
put
said
it
if they
in there.
didn't like it,
Right.
well, how do we
Maybe
know
they
they
should've
didn't
put a
like it?
cap on it, or-
It doesn't say it.
I would have to put subject to asking my wife.
Yeah.
That's what I would have to. That would be the only contingency I
that
would
would be
do.
like that'd be a
love to
pretty
see
good
that.
one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write that one.
Yeah.
Subject to asking
my
Tony's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one too. 'Cause
Honey,
that's
can we buy this house? No. My wife says no.
Isn't that your whole world?
That's
Is-
it.
is
It's right here in the
everything-
offer.
It's right there. So
Isn't
you signed
everything
it.
subject to you
Yeah.
asking your wife?
Yeah.
Or your wife agreeing?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice
and
get out of jail
perfect
card.
excuse.
Right.
Yeah.
Get stopped for speeding. Why were you speeding? My wife. Oh,
My wife told me to.
yeah, it's fine. What are you doing up in a ladder on a freezing cold day with the wind? And my wife asked me to go up there.
And most people would buy that.
Yes,
They're not going to argue.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
okay.
football game on. Why are you in the supermarket? And my wife.
My wife asked me to do this. All right, we got to
We
go.
might have to end on that one.
That's great.
On my wife
Subject to
said.
my wife.
All right, so here's the three
Agreeing.
important things we've learned today.
Yeah.
It's always subject to Tony's wife, so you can actually use that as a buyer and
Sure.
seller.
Put it in
Just
every
put it
contract.
in there.
Right.
It is subject to me asking Tony V's wife. It's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And the answer's always going to be no, right?
No, probably.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Cost
No.
of staging is less than the reduced price you're going to have to encounter.
Yeah.
Amazing
Number
fact.
3, we don't want to hurt your wives. I mean,
We
We don't want to
don't
hurt
make us
the
hit the
ladies.
women.
and
Bye.
on those
And-
gems,
And if you're going to do work for somebody, make sure they pay you.
thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. We're going to see you next week here. Thank you, Cathy Holtshouser and Tony V. Very informative, even with your personalities morphed into each other. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.